Hi, this is Linda Bessemer with Muses 3, and I'm going to do a quick overview of how to add books to a book bundle, how to share a book bundle with students, and then lastly, how to create a book bundle and then share or copy those books to a project and how to assign a project to student. And we'll talk a little bit about the differences between sharing a book bundle and assigning a project. So the first thing I'm going to do is log into myON. And of course, your teachers would be going in through Clever. But I'm going to use the demo students and demo teachers that I set up for secondary in Spring Branch. So the first thing I've done is click on the login button. You can see I've got Spring Branch Middle School. I'm going to sign in as a grade 8 demo teacher. And our password is the same. It's myON, all lowercase, 2023. And then I'll click sign in. And you can see I have my two students, Demo 1 and Demo 2. The first thing you'll need to do to create a book bundle is go to the library. And I do not believe that I have TCRWP collections assigned. So I want to show you how you can do that for, I'm going to go ahead and make this grade 8. Since I'm signed in as the 8th grade teacher, and then I can click on TCRWP collections. It tells me that I don't have any collections assigned, so I'm going to click on the Here button. And then this is actually my teacher account. And for my teacher account, I'm going to assign the RST Middle School collection. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. So now when I go back to library and then to TCRWP collections, I can see these are the different book categories that are in RST. And I can go ahead and click on one. I'm going to click on Wild Weather because we know something about that in Houston. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add each of these books to my favorites just by clicking on Add to Favorites. So every book that you access in myON is going to have the opportunity for you to click the Add to Favorites, whether you're accessing the books through the TCRWP collections or whether you're going into the library and doing a search. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just adding each of these quickly. So now I've added all of these to my favorites, and I'm still in the library tab. So I can go to favorites and bundles. And you can see that all of these books are now in my favorites up here. So now I want to create a book bundle. And my book bundle is going to be called Weather. Oops. And I'm going to save that. And you can see that Weather has 0 books assigned to it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this plus sign. It automatically adds everything that is in my favorites. So if you have a lot of books saved to your favorites, you probably wouldn't want to do that. But if you are saving books to your favorites, adding them to a book bundle and then removing them, that might be a little bit different. So I've gone ahead again and I've clicked to select all of the books that are in my favorites. I'm going to click Move to Bundle, and it says Select a Bundle, and I'm going to select Weather, and then I will click OK. So now all of my books have been, and you can see that it says you haven't added any books to your favorites. So if I go over to my Weather bundle, I can see all of my books here. And I can go ahead and I can decide that I want to share. And when I click share, it gives me the date that I want to share until. I don't want to share these through next school year. I want to share these into January. But I want to share them, and it uses the European um, system. So you have the year, then the month, then the date. So I'm going to go ahead and save this through January the 27th, 2023. And I'll go ahead and click on the save button. And so this bundle has now been shared with all of my students. And I can click view demo student. And this is a demo student for you as a teacher. It's not the 2 demo students I set up for you. But let me show you where students would see those. So if I scroll all the way to the bottom here, you can see weather, and then it says grade 8. So these are going to be all the books, and the S stands for shared. So these are books that my teacher has shared with me. So this lets you make specific books available to students. When I'm done with this, I can exit demo mode. And what we'll do now is we'll log in as a student so that you can see what the student would see when you share a book bundle. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log out as a teacher. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in as my student. Sorry. And again, I have the same password. And again, the first time students log in, they see this interest survey. I don't want any books in Spanish, so I'm going to make that change, and I'll just leave everything else set up as is. So now, as a student, I can see books recommended for me. And then here's my weather, and this was shared with grade 8. So my teacher has shared these books. And again, this will look, these are just all of the books that we had set aside. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to teacher mode. Shoot, sorry. And what I will also do in the email that has the link for this video that I sent to Miss Julia Cuthbertson, I'll also include a link for resources that will show you step by step, screen by screen, how to do what I just showed you, just so that you have it available printed as well. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our library. We're going to go back to our favorites and bundles. I'm going, and this little thumbs up here means that this book bundle has been shared. So that's what the thumbs up means. So I'm going to go ahead and click on weather, and now I'm going to copy this to a project. And I don't have any projects created. So it says you haven't created a project yet, create a new project. And yes, I do want to do that. And I'm just going to call this wild weather. So, oops. So wild weather is going to be the name of my project. And to go ahead and create that project name and then move everything over to the project, I'm just going to hit the enter key. And you can see up here, it says added to project. So now I want to go in and take a look at that project. So I'm going to click on classroom, and I'm going to click on projects. And you can see there's an inactive project. That means it hasn't been assigned to students yet. You can see there's also a button to create a new project. And then there's the cloud button. And this takes you over to all of the projects that all the users in myON have created that they've shared. But we're going to stay back here in my projects. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go in and edit my project, because all I've done right now is added books to it. I can put a due date, and I can put that same due date that I had for my book bundle, and when that would no longer be shared. I'm going to put in a description of my project, but it's not going to be available to students. So we're going to compare weather systems and practice constructed responses, because we know that that new STAR exam in 2023 is going to have long and short constructed responses. And I'll show you how students can actually practice that in myON. So we're going to put weather as a tag. I'm going to add a tag for Spring Branch ISD grade 8. And I'm going to add a tag for STAR 2023 constructed response. And that way, if I do share this with others in my building or others in the district, they'll know what your intention was. This is just for my grade 8 students. That's the grade level that's intended for. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now, if I want to look at the reading task, I would just click on the gear that always lets you view. The title is Wild Weather. I haven't given my students a task objective, and finishing the project means they've read all the books, which is not realistic. So what I want to do is have students select 2 books. I'm going to leave the audio on. I don't want any quizzes on. I don't want the students doing book reviews, but I do want them to be able to highlight and take notes in the book. So I'm going to leave the literacy toolkit active. And so the task objective for reading will be select 2 books that discuss 2 different weather events. Take notes in student journal. As you read each book so that you can refer to essay. So we've let the students know they need to read the books carefully and that they're going to be doing a writing response as well, and that we're recommending that they take notes. And if you wanted to go in and look at any of the books, you can manage books. If I click on manage books, it'll also let me go in and I can deselect books if I want to do that. But I'm going to go back here, and one of the things that's a little disconcerting is how do you save this? There's not a save button. If you click on the X or you click anywhere out here, it'll actually save that information. So now I actually can, if I choose, I can go in and look at the different graphic organizers. Perhaps there's a graphic organizer that would help students as well. If I look at the different, and maybe when I'm looking at weather cause and effect, might be a good chart for students to use. So what I'm going to do, this is cause and causes, sorry, causes and effects of weather systems. So I'm going to say use the cause effect organizer to chart what is in different weather systems. Weather systems. It gives a student a little bit extra help there. And now I'm going to also assign a writing task. So the title is going to be Systems, and my task is going to be a short description of each of the two different weather systems you read about. Refer to your readers' journal and provide evidence as to the cause of the weather event and the effects result of the weather event. You can see here too that you can assign a word goal, and you can also assign a time limit. And then there's also peer review. This is great practice again for students for those short and long constructed responses that will be part of the STAR 2023 exam. I'm not going to assign a word goal or a time goal at this point in time. You can also include a writing checklist if you choose. So I'm not going to do any of those things, but you can see here are the details that I've provided with to students. Please make sure that you do save your project before you leave this page, and sometimes you want to save as you go. And the project will always be back in that inactive area until you assign it to students. I'm not going to mark this as shared right now. If I marked it as shared, it would actually go out to the myON cloud, and then anyone who has access to myON across the world would have access to this particular project. I'm not a teacher. I don't want to say that this is Spring Branch's work, so I'm not going to mark this as shared. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And now you can see that this project is in the inactive project area within my personal project space. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to assign that project. It says no students have been assigned to the wild weather project. I can click on groups and rosters and then click the down arrow. And if I have set up different learning groups within my classroom, then I would be able to see those different learning groups, and you might edit the project slightly and save the one version of the project for group one, another for group two, group three. Again, if you want to differentiate learning with having the projects be differentiated, you can do that. Right now, I'm just going to click on my roster, and I'm going to click the plus sign and have this assigned to demo student 1, and the plus sign and assigned to demo student 2. There's also a select all button, which would have been faster, so you can certainly do that. And then I want to go ahead and apply. And now you can see that this project has been assigned to 2 students. No students have started, no students have finished. I can also click on the I to investigate. This shows me the reading task. Again, no students have started this. I can look at the cause and effect graphic organizer and the writing sample. So again, no students have done any work on this. Let me show you the student view. We'll open a couple of the books and then come back and see how this looks different for you as a teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and log out as a teacher. I'm going to go ahead and log back in as my demo student. Oh, heck. And so now you can see, here's the project. You can see I still have my book bundle shared down here. And now I have a project. When I click on the project, and different teachers can assign projects. Obviously, this might be a science project that the science teacher has assigned, or it could be something that your ELA teacher has assigned. Remember, myON is 70% nonfiction and informational text. So there's lots and lots of great content for science and social studies, as well as English language arts. So I'm in my writing task. I'm going to go ahead and open up a book on tornadoes. I'm going to go ahead and start the book. And again, if a student needed audio support, they
Introduction.
play.
Tornadoes are the most violent storms on Earth.
But all I need to do, I don't have to click on that, but if I need that support or accommodation, it's available. I'm just going to kind of flip through a couple pages, and then I'm going to exit this book. I'm going to go back. So that was tornadoes, and I was supposed to do 2 different books. Gosh, I don't know a lot about avalanches, so I'm going to read more about avalanches. Okay, and here's more about avalanches. If I wanted my literacy tools, I would simply click here. This would let me circle things. I can highlight text. I can go to my reader's journal. And I can add a citation so I know what book I'm using. I can copy and paste, so I can put sticky notes in. Let's see, I'll go ahead and close up my journal, and I can, why isn't my sticky note working? Here's my sticky note. So I've got my sticky note. All right, so I've done all of these things, and now when I exit my book, I can see that I started this book and I've started this book. So these are no longer in red, they're in orange. When I finish the book, this is actually going to change to green. I can go in here, I can look at my graphic organizer here, what my teacher asked me to do. So I'm gonna, so my first one is gonna be tornadoes. My second one is gonna be avalanches. And I can go back to my journal, and here's anything that I would have copied from my journal would be here so that I could move it back to my cause and effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this, and I'm not gonna start my writing at all. So I'm going to go ahead and log out as a student. I'm going to log back in one more time as my grade 8 demo teacher. And now when I go to classroom and I go to projects, I can see my active project is wild weather. 1 student has started the project, 2 students were assigned the project. When I click on the I to investigate, I can see that grade 1 or demo student grade 8 has actually gone in, and I can see which 2 books they've selected. I can see what they've done in their graphic organizer. If they had started their writing, I could actually leave a comment for the student or some suggestions, even though the student hasn't submitted the writing sample yet. So the main difference between, I'll just go back to our dashboard here. The main difference between creating a book bundle and sharing it with a student and creating a book bundle moving that over to a project and assigning it to a student is when you share a book bundle with students, you cannot track which books the students read and where the student is, what the student's progress is. With a project, you can monitor the entire class or the entire group of students that have been assigned to the project, and you can see where they are. You can view the work that they've done. If you've got a last minute Linda who waits until maybe 2 or 3 days before the project's due and then tries to get it all done a week before the project's due, you can just let last minute Linda know you probably want to get started on this sooner rather than later. So again, it lets you monitor and provide additional coaching for your students. Again, what I'm going to do is provide additional information for Miss Julia. I think I have it pulled. Oh, no, I don't any longer. But I'll provide her with a link for the help pages within Renaissance that will take you step by step through creating a bundle, sharing a bundle, and then taking that bundle, moving it over to projects, and then assigning the project as I just showed you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me, Linda Bessemer, or my partner, Dr. Carl Franklin, with Muses 3. You can reach us at 281-923-6190. Thank you so much. And we so appreciate our partnership with Spring Branch ISD. Thank you. And I need to end my meeting here. Oh, why is not this? Oh, here's the bundle information. I'm so sorry. I thought I had that here. And you can see, again, this is going to give you that information. Oh, I'm no longer sharing, although I'm still talking. So I will go ahead and end this meeting. I'm so sorry, I had a little bit of a glitch there at the end. I found the link and we'll include that along with this video. I'll see if I can clip the end of this. So thanks again so much. Bye-bye.